Okay, today we are going to use shapes to create a robot. All right, so this is what I did before. I'm going to show you how to draw a robot, how to think about going step by step, but I do not want you to draw my robot, okay? I want you to use your imagination. I want you to use a lot of shapes to create your own unique robot. We're going to hold our paper like this, but if you decide that you want to hold it this way, you could possibly draw 2 robots, okay? Or maybe even 3. But see how my robot takes up almost all of my paper. So I want you to draw big and make sure you fill the whole space if you're doing 1 robot. If you're going to do 2 robots, you would turn your paper like this and maybe do 1 here and 1 here. But again, fill up the whole paper. Don't just do 2 little tiny robots down here and have all this white space. But I am going to start like this, okay? So we talked about shapes before this. We talked about organic shapes and we talked about geometric shapes. We are going to use some geometric shapes to make our robot. So I like to start with the head. Now I'm going to draw in Sharpie. You guys may use a black crayon. You may use a pencil, or if you have one of these Crayola or Rosemont, I think it's Rose, markers that are washable, that's fine too. You don't have to use a Sharpie. I'm just using the Sharpie so you guys can see what I am doing. So if we want to start with the head, I want to put it up here. I want to make it large enough that, you know, I'm going to fill the space, but not too large that I'm going to run out of room for the rest of my body. So I'm going to start with a rectangle for my shape. You can start with any shape, an oval, a triangle, a half circle. So I am just going to start. I'm going to leave some room for some antennas at the top, and I'm going to just start with a rectangle. Now you guys don't have to draw along with me, or if you are drawing along with me, use different shapes, create your own. Now I'm going to add some ears, which is just some rectangles on the side. Maybe I'll put some over here. Now I'm going to have a body shape. I'm going to have put it right about here. So maybe I am going to do a shape like this. I'm going to start here, and I know that I'm going to come right to here. I'm going to connect that line. Maybe I'll come a little farther. And I'm going to come up almost like a half circle, because I'm going to make a neck, and I'm going to bring it down. Now for the neck, I could connect it with triangles. I could connect it with rectangles. I'm going to do some really long, skinny ovals. I'm going to go like that. They're almost rectangles with rounded ends. So there's my head, my neck, my body. For the legs, you can have them have joints. I'm going to do maybe something at the bottom here where my legs start. You don't have to put this. Maybe I have 2 tops of my legs, and you could have your robot dancing, moving around. Now I'm going to put maybe one of those rounded edge rectangle shapes for where my knee would be. Then I'm going to go a little bit more before I put my foot. My foot, I'm just going to do a half circle and connect the line. Again, I'm going to do the same thing over here, but if you want to add 2 different shoes, that is absolutely fine. So look, I'm starting to have my head, my body, my legs. Arms. Arms can be just a long, skinny arm. It can be several pieces of your arm. I'm going to do some ovals. So I'm going to do an oval here. Again, you guys are going to do something completely different than me. So I have these arms, these circles coming up. I'm just going to connect them with some lines. All right, and maybe I'll just connect it to my body. And then for the hand, I'm going to do a shape like this. And maybe I just connect it. Maybe this side, my arm is going to be going downward. So again, I'm going to do a oval, and then an oval going this way, and maybe a little bit smaller oval. I'm going to connect it with some lines. So we actually are using some organic shapes. And down like that. And I'm going to do the same kind of hand over here. Okay. Now I think I'm going to go back and add in really cool details, okay? So I'm going to start with my eyes. You can make your eyes any shape you want. They can be rhombuses, they can be triangles, they can be ovals. I'm going to do some half circles. So I'm just starting with my lines. I'm coming up like that. Now give your robot some personality. Some more half circles. Maybe I'm going to use just a triangle for my nose. And maybe my mouth is going to be one giant rectangle. Make smaller rectangles inside that are going vertically that kind of look like teeth, huh? So I'm going to add some antenna. You can do it any way you want. I'm going to make some swirly lines. And then I think I'm just going to put a big circle. And then maybe an oval. I'm going to do something similar on the other side. I'm going to do a big circle and then an oval. So he's starting to come alive, or she. So here is the main part of your robot. Let's add lots of really cool details. So I'm going to add a shape inside my shape that is the exact same shape as my body, just a little bit smaller. So see, this shape is inside this shape. Now I'm going to do maybe another rectangle, but this time I'm going to do some rounded corners. Now I'm going to do another shape down here. And let's add some lines. Comes out a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in here. Maybe I'm going to add some circles. So there may be buttons, knobs, control panel. You guys decide. I'm going to add some circles inside there. Maybe some triangles up here. See how I'm filling the space with all sorts of shapes. Maybe, let's see, what else could we do? We could add something along this border. Maybe we want to add some more controls down here. Maybe you want it like a computer. Maybe you want to put headphones on your robot. Maybe up here I'm going to add just some lines, which would be kind of more rectangles. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So when we do the same thing on both sides, we are giving our robot symmetry. And symmetry means that if I drew a line down the middle of my robot, one side would pretty much be the same as the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to do something. Maybe I'll add a different shape up here. in the border. So I want you to have a lot of fun with your robot. Okay. And I might just fill in these eyes. we're gonna color the whole thing in a minute, but I think I do want this part of the eye to be black. So let's go in here and add something. I might just do a long, skinny rectangle with little squares inside and some more circles for control panel. Okay, and that's it. You can keep going and adding as much detail as you want. I'm gonna add a little bit down here and maybe like that. Again, it's symmetry. I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side. And maybe I want to just give an extra line to the bottom of my robot. And there we go. I think I'm really happy with this. So now I'm going to add some color. Okay, to add color, you guys have the choice. If you have some markers, you can use these. If you have color pencils, you can use these as well. Just try to press really hard because then you get the brightest color out of them. And if you have crayons, these will work great too. I think I am actually going to use my markers today. And I might use a little bit of crayon too. I'm going to go both ways. So I'm going to go ahead and color. And you guys do the same with your finished drawing. If you haven't finished drawing, go do so now. When you're finished, you're going to add the color. Okay? And here we are. Here is my finished robot. So if you notice, I used two different types of materials. I did use my markers and I used my crayons at the same time. So right about here, I used crayons, markers everywhere else. So I'd like you to try that. Maybe if you have both, mix your materials a little bit and give it a little bit of texture where you have the crayon. bright, colorful, have fun with it. Give your robot a name. What could your robot be called? And then maybe you can put the name down here. Be really fun. Remember, we started with just a line drawing, okay, of all these shapes, and they are mostly all geometric shapes. We did use some line to connect some shapes, and these in here would be called organic shapes. Okay, so have a lot of fun with this. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. I know you're gonna do amazing things. Have fun, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.